But the reality is, if you don't have capital that you can use, it's going to be very difficult for you to become wealthy. Being broke is a personal decision. You can have all the money in the world and you have no health, you have nothing. So in terms of accelerating your debt and getting out of debt, there's a couple strategies. Once you've written them all down, you've taken a look at your budget, there's a way that you can organize your debt and accelerate your debt reduction based on organizing your payments towards that debt. So let's talk about an example of a real client. Now, what we did is we didn't include their home, but we took all of the other debts that they had, car payments, credit card payments, and what their minimum payments are to that debt. Then what we did is we said, okay, what your total debt amount is, can you put any money to accelerate that debt and get rid of it faster? They said, yes, we could put an extra $500 towards our debt. But the reason why most people don't get out of debt faster is what they call a shotgun approach to their debt. That shotgun approach says, I'm just going to put a little bit extra here, a little bit extra here, a little bit extra here. And because it doesn't accelerate the debt in a fashion that gets them out of debt faster, all they do is see reduction of debt loads, but they don't see elimination of debt. So let me give you an example. As you can take a look at this client, they have 4 credit card debts and they have 1 car payment. In this situation, they're paying a total of about $1,500 towards their debt in minimum payments. Their total debt load is $55,000. And if they added an extra $500 instead of the $1,497, they're going to put $2,000 towards their debt. There's 2 ways to approach debt. One is called the snowball effect. The snowball effect says we're going to take any extra money and we're going to apply it to your smallest debt first. We're going to attack it. And once we eliminate that, we're going to take that entire payment and snowball it into the next smallest debt, and then that payment will eliminate that debt. And once that debt is eliminated, you're going to continue to snowball your payments together towards the next debt load to get it out of debt faster. If we were to organize that in payments, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that a client would take the smallest debt, which is that $4,000 debt, and we're going to pay the minimum payment, plus we're going to add an additional $500. So that's the $628 that you see as an investment towards that debt to accelerate the debt payment. It's going to take about 9 months for that debt to be paid off. And once that debt's paid off, all of the money then goes to debt number 2, which is at $8,000. That debt, we were originally only paying $259. Now it accelerates because we took the first payment for that debt of $628, and then we added it to the $259. Now that's $888. That's snowballed into the second. Now, as you can see, that accelerates that second debt. And then it's done to the third debt and the fourth debt and the fifth debt. This is what's really interesting, is that if I were to say, how much interest did I save based on accelerating my payment or just leaving it the same and just paying the minimums? I would be getting out of debt literally years sooner, but I would save $21,000 of interest in the snowball effect. Now, the mental part of this is if I'm paying off a debt, I feel good, I get a victory, I win. The longer that happens, the less likely I feel energized because I don't see maybe a light at the end of the tunnel of getting out of debt because I don't see debt falling off fast enough. So that's why the snowball effect actually looks pretty good. Now, the avalanche is completely different from the perspective of how you're going to attack the debt. You're not going to go after the smallest debt amount. You're going to go after the highest interest amount. If we do the exact same thing and we pay off the debt, and we were going to pay off the debt, what we would do in essence, instead of 9 months, which we talked about before, it's going to take 15 months because the highest interest rate that's on our debt is an $8,000 debt, not a $4,000 debt. But it is 29%. So if you look at the payment schedule, we pay the $259, which would be for that debt. We'd add an additional $500. So now it's $700 $1,261.73. If you notice, it literally takes 15 months for that to get out of debt. Most people then would say, oh, it's a year and a half, and they lose faith. They lose hope. That's why usually the snowball system works better, because you eliminate smaller ones faster and it gives you momentum. But if you look at the economics, we paid a total of $21,000 of interest. You do the avalanche, we only paid $20,000. It's a drastic difference of about $1,100. But again, getting out of debt is an emotional thing. It has so much connotation of how I feel. We want to make sure we play within the guardrails of people's emotions and showing people progress in a reasonable amount of time. So I hope that helped you see ways for you to attack and look at debt. And more importantly, maybe it gave you some motivation, some excitement, and maybe even some hope that you can eliminate your debt in your life. So to summarize, a couple things. One, know where your money's at. Two, know the difference between good debt and bad debt. Three, make sure you understand sometimes it's okay to have the rules of the jungle apply. Run, 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 which means get out of debt, debt, debt. But don't be afraid of debt, because debt can be used to accelerate the things that you need, the skills, the opportunities to get you into the future, to put you in a better future position. But just know, the greatest position is to be totally debt-free, to be able to have your money working for you the way you want it to work for you to have the future that you've always wanted, so that you can live the life that you've desired. And our whole goal in our company is to help teach you how money works, to get it working better for you, and more importantly, to give you the freedom and lifestyle that you've always deserved. Thanks for watching today's episode of Fit Talks. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social media to stay updated on future episodes and join the conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay inspired, stay curious, and keep striving for greatness.